If we can get your launch up, you're going to carry the ball like 320, 330. Yeah.
You guys comparing me to Ferrari. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, this guy's a Bugatti.
You think bigger head, more forgiveness. You think
It is.
stiffer
But you
shaft,
gotta,
tighter dispersion, but it's not always the case.
Nice.
Wow. Jonathan,
How you doing?
welcome aboard, my man.
Thanks for
Welcome
coming by
aboard
today.
the channel. I'm pumped to do this. I feel like this is gonna be really relatable
Yeah.
because I was just telling you a story about how I was at a local golf shop in LA, Roger Dunn. Nothing against them. I just feel like sometimes you never know what you're gonna get
100%.
when you get fit at a retail shop or really anywhere, right? You could hear 5 different things from 5 different fitters.
Yes, sir.
And I told you I got fit for my iron shafts just based on my ball speed. And I've always wondered, do I need extra stiff shafts in my irons? Trotty, we did a ball fitting video. He told me you're playing the wrong driver. So today is all about figuring out, is what's in my bag the best possible equipment for me? If not, what am I losing because of it? And you know I'm excited about that 7-wood.
Absolutely.
So I want to figure out the bag makeup of what happens. Maybe it's as simple as taking out my 4-iron. Maybe it's not. So I'm really whatever you say today.
Cool.
You come with a great endorsement, so I'm trusting you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And where do you want me to start? This is a general fitting. We're just at Black Gold Golf Club right now.
Yeah.
So where do you start with a fitting like this?
So typically when we get somebody that comes in like you with a full bag fitting, we start from the bottom up.
Okay.
Just typically it's easier to start with the smaller irons and
Yeah.
the smaller wedges, they're easier to warm up with, and then we get into the woods and the hybrids and drivers.
Okay.
So we're gonna start off with the 7-iron in your bag, the 7-iron that you're hitting, and I'm gonna have you hit it about 8 to 10 times.
Okay.
That's gonna give me a good idea and average of what you're doing with your golf club as it is right now.
Okay.
And then after we get those numbers and averages, I'm going to be building you a club from scratch, from the shaft to the lie to the exact head as well.
Okay.
And then we're going to go through a sequence of a couple shafts and head makeups, and then from there we're going to pretty much be able to analyze the data and see which one is going to be most beneficial to you in the long run.
Sweet.
So yeah, we'll start with that, and then from there we'll just keep going and kind of just give a play-by-play on each club and what each club offers and kind
Love
of the
it.
difference of each products as well too.
Sweet.
So
Let's do it.
let's get started. Okay, so one thing's for sure, you definitely got tons of power. You're averaging about like 200 yards carry with your 7-iron, about 210
Going
total.
200?
It's saying like 190 carry, 196 total.
Holy
That last one you
shit.
just hit. You got 95 miles of club head speed, which is pretty fast for irons, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
anything in like north of like 92, 93 is like getting close to that tour average with the irons. So I can see why maybe just looking at your ball speed, why they would think that, oh, let's put them in an extra stiff.
Yeah.
My only issue with that extra stiff is that it's a little bit more of like a mid-high launch shaft, that dynamic gold. So I'd prefer to put you in something a little bit more low trad just to get that ball flight down and then hopefully get your spin up, because your spin is somewhere around like 55 when you miss hit it, your miss hits.
Yeah.
And then the last one, that was your best one at 6,300 spin. So I'm going to be going between a 790 and an MC for you, seeing if the MC head is a little bit less hot and we can have a little bit more spin control but not lose too much distance.
Okay.
Because I want you to have your distance, but I don't think you need a 200-yard 7-iron if it's not going to land on the green and check efficiently.
Yeah.
So that's something, and then also those are the old
I didn't even know I
790s.
hit a 200-yard 7-iron. That's news to me. So.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little breezy. I mean, but I don't think that's, I mean, you are smashing it. You are hitting it extremely well. Your smash factor is sitting at 1.4, so you're maximizing all of that club face. Your launch angle is averaging about 17, which is perfect. 17, 18 degrees is the perfect height. I
Okay.
just think for the height, we could be getting a little bit more spin, a little bit more iron control,
Okay.
which would help us reduce those big errant shots into
Okay.
the green.
Just so you know, context.
Uh-huh.
I, coming off of tremendously bad golf,
Okay.
just horrific misses, even with like 8 irons, losing balls, etc.
Yeah.
I've recently wiped away all swing thoughts and just gone to trying to hit the ball.
Yeah.
And I'm
I
hitting
love
it
that. I
better.
love
Last
that.
2 rounds have been much better. I'm obviously carrying it farther than I was before because my contact seems to be a bit better. But hearing MC, I get nervous because
I
the
understand.
forgiveness is the most important thing.
100%.
Okay.
I agree. We'll look at both, and at the end of the day, when I fit somebody for an iron, I fit them for their misses because of that reason.
Yeah.
When you hit it well, if I put any club in your hand, you're going to smash that club.
Right.
But I want to know how bad it gets, because that's what's going to tell me how efficiently you're going to miss on the
It can
course.
get pretty bad.
So I'm going to start you off in a Project X shaft. This is going to be the Project X LS.
Okay.
I'm going to start you in the extra stiff.
I've selfishly always wanted to be able to play Project X. I feel like all the good players play Project X.
Yeah, and you should be in. I mean, you hit the ball pretty high
Yeah.
consistently. So typically when I want players to have a little bit more spin
Yeah.
and bring the ball down a little bit, I'll go into like a low traj extra stiff shaft.
Okay.
This is a 6.5, 125 gram shaft. That DG is 130 grams, I think it is, X100. So it's a lot of lumber.
So that's still extra stiff.
Correct.
But that's 5 grams lighter.
Correct. We're going to go down into stiffness to see if we can create some more spin and maybe not lose too much distance. I'd love to see you in that 180 range since you already hit it 190 with your clubs. I'd love to see you 180, 185 with
that's what I usually would
with
hit
7,000
with my 7
spin though, not 5,500.
Okay.
And are you familiar with what the lie angle does, like how it's adjusted and how that works?
Yeah, either
Yeah, so like typically
upright or
correct. So like typically if I go upright, so this would be standard. If you go upright, it's going to bring the toe up, make it more prominent. If I go flat, it's going to bring the toe down.
Yeah.
So typically when we have players with a heel miss, we'll bring them upright to center that club face out.
Okay.
And then when we have players like yourself that are really shallow, we'll put them flat so that way that club can work a little bit more efficiently inside.
Okay.
So this is the Project X 6.5 125 standard lie on the 790 head, but it's the 2024 790 head.
Okay.
You have the original 790 head.
Okay.
Sounded flush.
There's always that first swing with a new club. You're like, ooh, could it be it?
Yeah.
So it's still a pretty big right miss, but it didn't fade or slice as much. It was kind of more of like a weak block, which is definitely better.
See, those are the last couple that you've hit are like 63, 64.
Okay.
Which is right around where we want you. 193 carry. That last one was 192 carry. I'm obsessed with the carry number with iron shots for the simple fact that when we're hitting golf shots into a green, it's all about where we're landing the ball, right?
Right.
So if we can maximize that number where we're landing it and be super consistent in that number, usually the spin is going to follow suit. So for you right now, you're averaging about 195 with this 700. I'm about to change it after you swing this one to a degree flat. I'm hoping that we keep in that 185, 190 range and the spin goes up another 500. These TrackMans are measuring your speed, the club head speed mixed with the ball.
Right.
So, you know, we're getting as accurate as a number as we can get to an on-course number.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and go to one flat now.
Okay.
I just think we're going to see some more efficient spin rates out of a degree flat. So now I just moved it to 1 degree flat.
And that means toe
the toe's going to go down, and I'm hoping that it's going to help you. In theory, it's going to help us create more spin. Yeah, see, your club path's 0.4, which is beautiful. You're coming in like almost perfect, like you're half a degree there.
Okay.
And your angle of attack's -2, so you're left 2, which is fine. Most tour players are a little bit negative in their angle of attack. It's how they create so much compression on the ball.
Okay.
So that last one was -4.5, and the spin was a little bit less.
Okay.
So the more and more left we come in, the less spin we're going to create.
My coach wants me to swing more left.
Exactly. So that's how you get more. That's how you create. Well, does he want you to swing more into your left side or like club path?
Club
more
path.
Left? Okay,
more
perfect.
Left.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's proper.
Okay. It's going higher, isn't it?
The last couple that you've hit have been right around 17, 18.
Okay.
This last one that you just hit is coming in right now, and it was 20. That last one was high. That was your highest one yet.
Yeah. Okay.
100%.
Do you think a lower flighted shaft creating more spin that's keeping the dispersion, or is it less grams and I don't feel like I have to muscle it as much? Maybe a combo?
So one thing we got to understand about shaft profiles is that when you have a player of yourself that has high speeds, anytime you swing fast, that's going to get the ball up in the air quick.
Yeah.
So to counter that, everything in golf is opposite. So to counter that, we put you in low profile, low trajectory shaft to counterbalance it.
Okay.
So that way you can swing the way you swing and you can keep going up and hard at it and swing confidently and not have to change a beat. What
Yeah.
you're talking about is when you have a club that isn't fit for you, you're forced to be manipulated into whether swinging too hard or the opposite, swinging too soft, because
Yeah.
you're trying to find the middle ground.
Right.
When you find a proper shaft for yourself, you're going to be able to swing it the same way every time, and the dispersion's naturally going to come in because it's the right shaft for you.
Okay.
This shaft specifically, Project X, like you know, all tour players play this shaft for a reason. These
Yeah.
rifle shafts, they are for high speeds, high compression, and for guys that hit the ball, you know, pretty dang well. You're hitting it down near 190 yards carry.
Yeah.
We're going to try the MC out. I don't mind losing distance if we can gain consistency and spin.
It's so funny to hear you're a good ball striker.
Yeah, and again, you know, I'm
So
basing
funny,
you,
yeah.
I've known you for
Yeah.
35 minutes now.
Yeah.
So I'm basing you off this
Right.
interaction.
Right.
I'm fitting you for the player I see today, not the player that you were yesterday.
Yeah, totally.
That's so good. The reason why we go to a blade style or a muscle cavity with players like yourself with these specs, from top to bottom, from QI to MB to the Tiger Woods blade at the very bottom of the list,
Uh-huh.
the more you get closer to a blade, the more the club is going to spin naturally. So the 790s of our P series are our least spinning heads, and the MBs, which is the one after that,
Yeah.
would be the most spinning head.
Okay.
So I'm doing this in efforts to see if we can get consistent spin rate on our ball striking,
Okay.
which is already one shot in. We're at 7,200 spin, which is his best spin rate so far. And as we said, we only lost about 5 yards like I wanted.
Now I'm going to ask you something that people watching might be wondering. Does it matter? Can you get caught up in trying to hit a perfect spin number if me mishitting this is going to lose a ball versus the P790s?
And that's where I won't know until I see you hit about 10, 15
Okay.
more.
Okay.
Because like I said, I'm gonna measure it based off your bad, but that one good shows me that this setup, it's doing what I intended it to do for you.
Okay. I could just be pulling it, but is there anything in this setup that would bring left in?
It's flat. So what that's going to do is it's going to bring the toe down a little bit, like I said earlier, and it's going to leave it feeling you just so you can just clear it. And so that's why I was literally about to go, before you asked, about to go back to standard, because with this head, it already spins naturally so much, so we might be able to get away with just a standard life for you, so we don't feel like we're just turning it over super hard.
So you can confidently say I definitely should not be in a regular stiff
I can
iron
confidently say that you don't need to be anywhere near a regular flex shaft at all.
All right, sorry, a stiff.
A stiff, I'm not sure. I'm about to put you in a stiff.
Okay.
They're not like, you're not getting that 207 iron, which I don't think you'll ever need.
Yeah.
The thought of you being on the course and being like, I'm 200 out, let me pull my 7 iron out, just doesn't sit right with me.
that sounds better than a 5 iron.
Yeah, it really does.
So this is a regular stiff.
Correct.
Project X.
7,000 spin, 19 launch, perfect, 188 carry, 193 total, 97 miles of club head speed. Angle of attack -2. It's money. It's that tempo for you. I feel like.
Oh yeah.
You like, it's like you have like a second gear that you like on, or like more like a 6th gear that you unlock. Like when you're on your tempo town, like that last swing, and then when you get that left pull, it's just because you just get really into it.
Yeah.
So for you, I feel like what you're trying to do is find a shaft that you can just repeat the tempo with, right?
Yeah, I want to be able to still feel aggressive. I've tried both, you know, I've tried to lay off of it, and that's like even worse for me.
Yeah. So in terms of like stiffness of the shaft,
Yeah.
which one feels like you're able to swing it effortlessly and efficiently?
I mean, this one feels pretty good.
Yeah.
So did the last one. I mean, all of them felt better than what I have.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm seeing that big of a difference between the three.
Because this is the deal. When you have an extra stiff shaft and more weight, we have to swing fast.
Yeah.
And we have to swing hard, because if not, the miss becomes so much more drastic.
Oh, interesting. Because
Anytime
my misses have been crazy drastic.
Because
you saw me in Hawaii put like 5 balls in the water with an 8 iron.
extra stiff shafts, you lose that kick point,
Yeah.
you lose the club.
I always thought stiffer shaft, tighter miss.
Only if you have the speed for it.
Interesting.
If you don't have the speed for it, that ball's gonna go
So
out.
I might have the speed on getting a fitting, but if I'm getting tentative in a round and I don't feel confident to commit that speed, my misses are gonna be worse with an extra stiff shaft.
Game swing versus range swing, night and day.
Oh.
I have guys that come in here and they'll max out the TrackMan.
Yeah.
They're at 120 club speed, 118 club speed. They go to the course and they're swinging 112, 113.
Yeah.
The softer shaft typically is something that we lean towards because you're never going to be on the course and be like, I have to get this. Like I said, that you have to get it 200 yards.
That's interesting.
And if it's not 200 yards, that miss is going to be a 170 miss. Because if you don't maximize the center of that club face.
Interesting.
Because now you just have tons of weight and tons of shaft, no kick point, it's a dead bat. 9 times out of 10, a person will take the softer shaft. It's very rare, unless I have a mini tour player or a very good high school player or a college collegiate player. Those guys are swinging like TXX because they are going at it balls to the wall every swing, trying to maximize that club. For guys like us that we play recreationally and we play, you know, to enjoy the game, why would you ever want to put yourself in a position where you're having to feel like you're overworking just to get the best out of yourself? When you can put something in your hand like this, swing 70% and maximize whatever the heck you're doing on the course.
Right.
So we're going back to the 790 head, going back to a degree flat because of the type of head it is. It's not going to spin as much as the MC, so we put the degree flat just to help you spin it a little bit more.
Okay.
But we're going back to the stiff shaft that we were using on the MC. It's still 120 grams. We're going to see how this is side by side with the extra stiff of the 790.
Okay.
I think what you're looking for is something consistent, something forgiving.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of that, the MC would be leading away from that. So if we do go MC, that's going to be the result in the long run.
Yeah.
I think if we stay in the 790s with a softer shaft, something that you can find a consistent tempo and rhythm with is going to be where we're going to live.
Okay. Maybe I was subconsciously missing with the MCs.
just logging them out. That's a good ball there.
Kind of blocked that one, right?
And this is where I'm seeing what the stiff does with your misses, because what I do know with people with a little bit faster swing speeds like yourself, if it's too soft, it's going to stay back and you're going to hit the ground behind the ball more often than less because that club is flexing and you're getting shallow like you're supposed to, and that club is not kicking because it's too soft.
Interesting.
So those are things that I'm paying attention to as well.
So you're saying I'm not missing it as right as it looks?
Correct. It's just the angle at which we're at.
Okay.
Because right now, on my line where I have the TrackMan set up to you, which is straight down your center line, you're only those right shots to you are 15 yards off the center line.
Oh, okay.
So they're not like 30 yards like they seem.
Oh, okay.
15 yards, if you know, in perspective, is right side of the fairway.
Right. Okay. That was better.
Yeah, I'll take that one. I'm glad to know that that stiff is not for you.
Really?
It's too soft. You're not compressing it properly.
Interesting.
It probably feels good. You probably swing it really easily, but numbers wise, you're like 5,500 spin, 200 carry, 205 total. So if you hit anything firm out there, like if you hit the green, or even if you're playing a green that's not soft, that ball's off, that ball's gone. One thing I know for sure to play golf at a high level is the best players in the world understand their misses almost better than they understand their good shots.
Right. I would love good misses. That's all I'm here for.
So here we go, back to the extra stiff, 1 degree flat on the 790.
Okay. Is this the second extra stiff one we did?
Yeah, extra stiff, 6.5, 130 grams.
That was better.
So now I'm gonna give you 5 more grams of weight.
Of weight?
Same specs, it's just KBS opposed to Project X.
Okay.
130 gram extra stiff shaft. And I wanna see if that weight will stop you from pulling that ball a little bit.
Is that what I'm currently playing, 130?
Yes, the dynamic golds?
Yeah.
Yes.
And the difference between this and the one I'm playing?
So the difference between this one and the one you're playing is your dynamic golds that you're playing now, they're more of like a mid to high launch. Like actually the 120X is more of like a mid low, but this is 10 grams lighter than what you're playing now, which is And what my theory is that's why you hit them so high. You hit your irons pretty high.
Yeah.
So for me, my goal for you is to get the ball lower because that's going to help us create low compression, and then we're going to be able to maximize that consistent number of carry. Because I don't care if you hit it 195, but I want you to carry it 195 8 out of 10 times.
Right.
Stable ball flight.
Definitely, yeah, I can definitely feel the weight. It's funny, when I went through my fitting at the golf shop, I thought it was a good middle ground that I stayed an extra stiff, but I got lighter because I thought maybe that'll help me not want to muscle it.
No, that helps. That if you go lighter and you're supposed to be in something heavier, you're just gonna snap hook the ball when you turn through hard with it. See how it's like a little draw opposed to like a dump off draw?
Yeah. Okay, this is interesting because I pulled that, but to your point, it's kind of trying to work back. That wasn't like a...
It wasn't snapping in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't like the spin rate. It spins a little low, which makes sense because there's a lot of weight on there. So you have, again, we're talking high speeds for high compression. So I'm gonna go 2 flat on you now. Because I mean, you're working with 100 miles an hour of club head speed for an iron, bro. Like, if I'm being completely honest, the tour average for a 7-iron in club speed is 90 miles an hour. You're 10 miles an hour over the tour average on TrackMan.
Wow, just like...
And that's from a TrackMan sheet.
That's crazy. I'll sleep well tonight, although that at least I have something to hang my hat on.
23 miles above the average tour number in ball speed. You are... So 7,000 is the spin. That's what we're trying to maximize right now.
Okay.
But other than that, every single other number, you want to know what the average 7-iron carry is for a tour player?
Huh.
172.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
According to TrackMan.
Wow.
Oh, dude.
See, that felt like a pull again, and it didn't go left. That's a beautiful thing, what I just saw.
See, and that's what I want. I want you to swing your swing.
See, I kind of chunk blocked that one, and it's still not like as crazy of a slice. So of all of them so far, this one feels like the best combo so far. Oh.
See, and that's something crazy to talk about for a second too, because like what you feel is good cannot necessarily mean that the numbers are great.
Right.
Because to me, yeah, you're hitting it great. It looks good in the air, but you're not spinning it at all. Like you're spinning it, you're averaging like 4,900 spin. So even your good ones, now this club's going like 218.
Is it really?
Yeah. So because we don't have the spin to hold it. Like, so it's carrying like 200, 205, and it's just not
I feel like
holding.
most golfers watching would be like, hell yeah, give me a 218 7-iron.
Yeah, yeah, they would, as long as you can be consistent. We're gonna try one more shaft, and it's gonna be the Project X, the steel taper shaft. These are brushed steel, the first one that you tried. They're still steel, they're brushed steel.
Okay.
So we're gonna go...
Yeah, I've always loved these ones that almost look graphite, but they're steel.
In my opinion, so far of all the shafts we've tried, I love the extra stiff 125 gram Project X shaft.
Was that the first one we tried?
Yes, numbers wise, that's been my favorite one.
Okay, so then what do you say to someone that says, yeah, but these are the most tightest shots I'm hitting?
You know, fitting, it's a very sensitive area with people in their games because of that question that you just asked. It's a great question, because I can only give you my perspective as a fitter and my knowledge from the numbers that I'm analyzing. But at the end of the day, every golfer knows that what feels good in their hand is what's gonna perform.
Right.
And if you have a club that looks good on paper, but you don't like the way it feels, there's a good chance on the course you're gonna stand over a ball and think about that it doesn't feel good.
Right.
So we do fight that battle every single day of fitting somebody for something that feels good and also looks good on paper.
Totally.
For the most part, this Project X, the 6.5 125 is money on the 790.
Okay.
And then we put you a degree flat. You hit tons of spinning shots with it. I don't mind you having a 190 7-iron, like I said, because they were pretty consistent.
Okay. It's not just the numbers. I think what you're saying about the numbers is the numbers tell a different story of potentially too much inconsistency with like a carry yardage standpoint, where my good ones might be like really good and my misses might be a little tighter, but you're seeing spin numbers that will create a lot of inconsistency. with
Yes,
carry
'cause-
yardage? Is that what
yeah,
you're saying?
Correct. Yeah, because the spin is what dictates how far the ball goes. You have high spin, that ball's going to go less further than a ball that has no spin.
Right.
And at the end of the day, when you're hitting a shot into the air at a high launch angle, more spin is going to create more discrepancies. So we want proper and consistent spin to eliminate those discrepancies.
I did have a few moments I remember in my last few rounds where I hit like a 6-iron like 210 or something. And I'm like, how did I just do that? But I'm starting to hit the ball more solid than I have been for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So I'm just...
So when you hit that low, like clicky shot, like it doesn't look like it's kind of like rising, that's how you know there's no spin on it. When the ball looks like it kind of is rising with the air and then falling out of the sky, that's how you know it's got lots of spin.
Okay, that was pretty good. So I always thought flat was only if I'm like a guy like this, but you're saying it goes beyond that. It's actually going to help.
You're saying if you were a guy like what?
If I was more like this, you would put me at flat. That's what I used to think flat and upright was.
Yeah,
but,
that's like the basis of it. You know what I mean? Like if I have somebody that comes in and...
But you're saying you can use it more for the added angle of attack.
For sure. Because if that toe's a little bit further down and you're really shallow, if that toe's up, you're going to hit that heel first.
Yeah.
And if that toe's down where it's properly supposed to be, you're going to be able to enter that zone, that striking zone. And
Jonathan's really blown my mind a few times today. I've learned a lot today.
that's all what this is about. See how you're able to just attack from the inside, and when you do attack from the inside, it just stabilizes the ball flight.
Yeah.
Because if it were any more upright, that heel would come into play, and that heel would just react with the turf, which sometimes you get that heel and you turn it over quick, so you get that little pull. But when it's flat, you can really just get that club in the slot and just turn like great move. You know what I mean?
I'm working on trying to feel more vertical right on top of it.
And that's why you're flat. Yeah, so I definitely think if you're somebody that wants to have that distance, the 790 is going to be great. With this shaft, it's going to keep the ball flight down. It's going to keep your spin up. Can you play the MC? Absolutely. But again, if it's going to be a mental detriment to you, then there's no reason to even touch them.
Yeah, totally.
Because I'm not going to sacrifice your mental well-being on the course for
I need to earn the MCs. I have not earned the MCs.
There you go, and that's your golf journey to decide.
So you think this is the winner?
125, extra stiff.
Project X.
Project X, low spin, low traj.
And this is 5 grams heavier than what I'm playing, or lighter than what I'm playing?
5 grams heavier.
5
Yours
grams
are 120.
heavier,
These are
but
120.
lower trajectory.
Lower trajectory. Those are more of like a mid. Those are the ones that you have. They're like a mid-low.
Okay.
They're not like a mid-high.
Okay.
They're a mid-low.
Okay.
But I just think for you hit the ball naturally so high. We need to get it down consistently so we can have more penetrating ball flights into greens.
Okay. Do we have enough gas to do driver?
Did you
or
want to do
7 wood?
Yeah.
What happens when you have a complete opposite shaft and head?
A couple things can happen. One, the most common thing would be inconsistency in ball flight because you're sitting here with a stout shaft, low traj, so it's fighting to keep it low and running.
I might have some really low ones, and I might have some sky high
Exactly.
ones.
So it's a battle of whether the shaft or the head's going to win. Is your head going to take over and it's going to launch high because it's meant to do that? It's a max
That makes
head.
me feel better because it's been a battle.
No, I want to watch you hit it just a couple times just to see.
Oh. That's better.
Launch angle is pretty low, like at 6 degrees. You want to be anywhere from like 10 to 13, so you're pretty off of that.
Yeah.
117 miles of club head speed. Wow. That's fast.
Never had so many compliments in my life. That's pretty good right there.
Averaging like 265 carry, 296 total. When you hit them kind of spinny, they don't go as far, obviously. It's like 277. I'm going to right away just get you into our low spin head.
Okay.
And it's going to be the 10.5 degree low spin head. I'm going to start off with a Ventus Blue because it's like a mid-launching shaft.
Okay.
And then we'll work maybe to a red. I don't think you need that much height on the ball. So the Ventus, the way they go is the black is the lowest launching shaft, the blue is the mid launching, and the red is the high launching.
My wife's laughing because her dad, Tony, desperately wanted a Ventus Blue. We all pooled our money together, got him a Ventus Blue, and he doesn't play it anymore.
So this is the TR with Velacore. So the TR is referring to the stiffness in the handle, and the Velacore is in reference to the tip, the technology in the tip of the shaft.
And this is a QI 10-10-5?
10.5, LS head, low spin head.
Okay.
I just want to eliminate any low spin, any high spin misses with your tee shots.
Okay.
Nice.
Wow. That was like so much hotter. I've just realized coming here, this is probably the first club I should have gotten properly fit, is the driver. That one.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get into the Ventus Red just because your launch angle is still pretty low.
Okay.
You're hitting it at like, oh, we're up. You're at like 3, 4, 5 maybe with yours, and now we're at like 8. And the goal is to get from 10 to 13.
Okay. What were those last ones carrying?
Those last ones, it was like 7.5. So we're still like about 3, 4 degrees away.
What about carry?
Oh, carry? You're like about 290 carry.
Okay.
So if we can get your launch up, you're gonna carry the ball like 320, 330. Yeah. As long as we keep the spin down.
Did you just say I'm gonna carry the ball 320?
It's possible if you can match the launch angle up with the same speed. Keep
my
the spin down, you'll be
God.
all right. So that is the same shaft that you just hit, but it's a Ventus Red. Same exact specs, TR, Velacore. So the difference between the two shafts you're trying is this is the Ventus with no TR and this is the Ventus with TR. The reason I wanted you to swing both is because the no TR is going to be softer in the handle, which is why you're getting that little bit of a turnover. And that's why with the TR, you're getting no turnover because it's stiffer in the handle.
What usually goes first for people, the hands in the fitting or the body?
As far as like tiredness?
Yeah, the hands getting all beat up or the body?
Usually it's just like a complete just meltdown of the body. So that's where I think the core head, you'll lose a lot of distance and consistency because it's a little bit bigger and lighter.
Okay.
I feel like the LS for you is just going to keep it low spinning. It's going to be a little bit more weight.
And you think a smaller head would actually have
for you
better misses?
Because of the weight. So the LS head
Man.
is heavier, so you're not going to be able to manipulate it as easily. It's going to be harder to turn
so crazy.
over.
You think bigger head, more forgiveness. You think
it is,
stiffer
but you
shaft,
gotta,
tighter dispersion, but it's not always the case.
Those are, I mean, to an extent, because you got to supplement, you know, forgiveness for something, right?
Right.
You're gonna lose something to get that forgiveness, and what most people lose is distance and spin. So the max heads, yeah, they're forgiving, they're hot, they fly them out. You can hit them with a rubber band, but you're never going to be able to maximize low spin. You're never going to be able to maximize your overall carry because at the end of the day, the forgiveness factor is going to override that spin rate. And at the end of the day, for high swing speeds, once you give somebody a bigger head with high swing speeds, you're just going to start hitting it higher and higher and higher. He's averaging 120 of club head speed.
Really? With the driver? Wow. I used to be like 114.
You want to know how you can hit it higher?
Move it this way?
Mm-hmm. Oh, all of a sudden we're up in the air.
Yeah.
So for you, that's something that you need to key in on is just that ball positioning.
Okay.
If it's out in front, you're going to launch it. That last one was 315.
Carry?
9 total.
Okay.
You carried it 296.
Okay.
3,000 spin, which is a little spinny because of the range ball. 9.5 degrees of launch.
Okay.
Which is beautiful because that's, for you, that's like 13 for you.
Yeah.
That's 6 degrees higher than what we started with. That's all day.
Oh yeah,
That's just the ball forward.
Yeah, that's money. Wow, guy's giving lessons too. This guy deserves a raise, I'll tell you that much.
299 carry, we're almost there.
Okay.
322 total. 121.4 club. 2,700 spin, 8 degrees of launch. I'm fine with the 8.9 for you.
Okay.
We're not losing any distance in spin, and we're not losing any distance in carry.
So you think this is the winning combo? TR,
I think for you with
6X, Ventus
it's the exact
Red.
opposite. It's the exact opposite than your irons. You're so shallow, and you need something low with your irons because you hit it so high naturally.
Yeah.
With the driver, you need something that gets you up in the air.
Right.
And the Ventus Red is our highest launching shaft. TR in the handle just to give you that extra stiffness so that you can turn through.
Okay.
The Velacore technology is the best in the game. And then you pair that with the 10.5 degree LS head. It's a recipe for 320 bombs like you're doing.
Love it. Okay. Should I hit a 7-wood before we go?
Yeah, we could do 1 7-wood. So I got a 75 gram extra stiff 7-wood on the core head.
Okay.
This is bonded already. It comes with the Tensei shaft. It's a stock shaft, unlike your driver, which would be like an upgraded shaft, but still a great product. This is the core head, like I said before, opposed to the max head, which is a little bit bigger, which again, we don't need the forgiveness for you. We need the efficiency. So 7-wood, 21 degree, 75 gram X stiff. Let's give it a rip.
I've always been a much better fairway wood hitter.
I was just hitting that 7-wood before you showed up, and I'm
always been the best club in my bag.
It feels so good.
And hybrid, for me, it's kind of, I bet you my hybrid shaft's too stiff, but this I've like, well, if I can hit this more consistent than a 4-iron, let's do it. You know?
Let's look at the numbers.
Okay, pulled left. This, I think, has more ability to go like 230.
Yeah, it's
235.
Yeah, it's going to go hotter
like
than like a 4-iron.
4-iron was like 220.
And it's going to max out.
Yeah.
This is going to be able to you're going to be able to give this a little extra when you need it. Nice and high ball flight. Typically the 4-iron on most traditional sets, you're looking at like 21 degrees aloft to 22 degrees aloft. Sometimes if you have like a game improving iron, you'll see 23 or something like that. These 7-woods are 21 degrees in loft, but the fact that it's a wood head is going to give him that beneficial factor that he can hit it further when he needs to.
Then the question is, if I have like a 220 back green, like on a par 3,
Yep.
am I not going to want to hit this? You know?
That's if we can. That's if we find that it's hotter than that number.
Okay. Oh, it's pretty damn good. A little right, but pretty money there, I think.
The last one you hit was 218
money.
carry, 228 total,
Okay.
5,700 spin, which is perfect. You want it to be right around that 6,000 spin.
That
rate.
one was perfect.
5,000 spin, 245 carry, 256 total.
Shit, see? That's like a 3-wood. Well, I guess my 3-wood's going longer than I think.
The 3-wood's going to be way
Probably
further.
260.
Yeah, this 7-wood will probably be like a 240 to 250 club for you when you hit it the best. When you hit it a little bit, might go 225, 230.
So what, a 9? Is there such a thing as an 8 or a 9-wood?
There's a 9-wood.
Is a 9-wood then a 4-iron for me?
A 9-wood would be like a 5-iron. Well, for you, if you took out your 5-iron, I'd have to see what your 5 and 4-iron do.
Okay.
But you could essentially remove the 4 and 5 and just play a 7 and a 9-wood. That's so cash. But yeah, 75X, same thing with the shaft. 75 grams, extra stiff. I mean, that's just a stock setup for you. I think the driver, it's 60 grams extra stiff, which gives you that workability in it. If we go 70X in your driver, you're going to be limited to one shot and it's just try to hit it straight. With the 6X, you can kind of work it a little bit more. Same thing with the woods. We want it a little bit heavier.
I don't mind one shot.
Yeah, we want it a little bit heavier in our woods typically just because it's a little shorter shaft.
Okay.
But I think the X is perfectly fine for you across the board. You have tons of speed.
Okay. This shaft, you think is fine?
Yeah. The one you hit before that was 236 carry, 245 total. So again, that's like your low. 235 to 245 is like that threshold where you're looking at, which is solid. I mean, that's a par 5 eater.
Yeah.
Long par 4, no problem.
Right.
That last one you just hit was 237. You hit 2 shots back to back, exact same. Same shot. They're on an inch away from each other. So.
Well, maybe this tells me then this is a 3 hybrid.
Exactly.
Replacement.
It's the same degree.
Yeah, yeah.
A 3 hybrid is 19 or 20 degrees.
I think I have a 3 hybrid.
Yeah.
Double check.
Because if you look at our 3 hybrid, it's 19 degrees. Yeah, it's
21.5, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is so stiff.
Yeah, extra stiff. Typically, the hybrid shafts are really heavy and stiff.
So maybe it's a 7 and a 9-wood, and the 9-wood replaces the 4-iron, and the 7-wood replaces the 3 hybrid.
Yep.
And then I keep the 5-iron.
Yep.
Do you think that would be a good?
Sounds like a good gapping to me. Try this 9-wood. Yeah, that last one, that 9-wood you hit on the last one was 218 carry, 225 total. So it's the perfect gap.
Perfect.
Yeah.
This is so much easier to hit than a 4-iron.
Yeah, why would you want to look down at a butter knife, right?
I think we're clear on kind of everything.
Yeah, I think we have a good consensus of what exactly you're going to do moving forward with your golf game. I think, you know, you got tons of speed and tons
One
of...
more question for you.
Yes, sir.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
One thing, and I don't know if you want me to hit it, but oops. One thing I want you to look at is one of my favorite clubs. I've never been able to find a 3-wood better. I actually got rid of it because I cut it down. I shouldn't have done that. And then I bought one on eBay to replace it. This is my rocket balls. Is this way too heavy?
This is the same
the
exact
3?
shaft that you have on the 7-wood.
Oh, is it really? Oh, so it's probably a good
75X.
shaft.
But with the 3-wood, maybe like a 65X that's a little longer. Maybe somewhere closer to that driver, you know, just for more efficiency. More weight on a longer club is going to require more speed. Does that make sense?
Which is why I hit this better the harder I swing. And everyone, see, I'm not, at least that tells me I'm not like doing this for no reason. Everyone's trying to get me to like swing slower.
No,
but my best results have always been when I swing harder.
Do you buy a Ferrari or a Lambo and go drive it in a school zone? No, you go drive it on a racetrack.
You guys comparing me to Ferrari. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, this guy's a Bugatti. All right, so I'm gonna give you a similar shaft to your driver shaft in the 3-wood.
Okay.
It's gonna be a 7X Ventus Red, because again, same concept with the 3-woods as our driver. We want them up in the air working.
Okay.
So it's probably 73 grams instead of 75, but
That's 75?
Yes, this is 75, that's like 73,
Okay.
but this is a higher launching shaft. So I'm hoping that we can see a little bit more efficient ball flights.
How'd those numbers look on the rocket ball?
One was 258, one was 238.
Really?
So that last one you hit was 258 carry, 274 total. Really spinny though, 4,000.
So again, that's a low spinner, so it rolls forever when I do it well.
That's why it went that.
But that's why there's a huge dispersion.
Exactly.
With when I hit it poorly.
Exactly.
Oh, interesting. And this, you're saying it might not roll out as far max out, but my numbers are gonna be more consistent.
Exactly. I want the ball flight to be controlled. So see how it's kind of like rising and penetrating still, and then it's just dumping?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all day. 272 carry, 294 total,
That's as far as my
2900,
driver.
2900 spin, 9.3. I mean, your driver's is going to be now like 320
Jesus.
with your new club. It's not going to be what you're used to. Lost it a little right, but I like the height and the ball flight.
To me, the big takeaway today is like, if you're all the elements, spin, stiffness, weight, if they're working against you in some way, you might be playing more inconsistent golf than you could be.
100%.
Simply because you're fighting your setup constantly.
100%.
And like, I feel like, oh, I love that club because the ones I hit well, they roll out. Some people are like, why do you even hit your driver? You hit that so good. But that's why if I'm like trying to hit over something like water, if I don't quite get that, that's why it could be 30 yards difference is what you're saying.
100%. So a lot of the times what people do is they get so comfortable with what they're playing in their bag that they end up manipulating their golf swing into 4 different golf swings across their bag.
Yeah.
They got a driver swing, they got an iron swing, they got a wedge swing, and it's like,
Oh yeah,
exactly
that's me.
what you said.
Yeah.
How could you know if you could be more consistent if you're not opening yourself up to experiencing something different, right? So one thing you learned today and you should take away from today is that the most important thing in the golf game and in the golf swing is the golf shaft. Without the proper shaft, we can't be as consistent as we possibly can be. Because what allows us to be consistent is the equipment. We can be machines in our golf swing. We could be practicing every day. But if the equipment isn't tailored for us, we're never going to maximize the potential of consistent misses. Because if you hit a club, that driver, and you hit like 4, 3, 20, 315, whatever, but you hit 2, 3 in there that like you topped or like you missed outright or whatever the case, whatever miss you have, I'd be more likely to second guess that that club is the best option for you. But because of the misses that they weren't extreme, I'm able to make a scientific, hypothesis that this club is going to perform the same way on the course for you. Because if you're not errant here, there's a good chance you're not going to be errant on the course.
I can't thank you enough, Jonathan.
Yeah, absolutely.
This was amazing. This is the best fitting I've ever gotten.
Yeah, it's wonderful, man.
I appreciate
Thanks
all
for coming
the
by. Yeah, I
info.
appreciate you,
That
man.
was awesome, man.
That was great. Thanks for coming by. You were awesome. A lot of fun fitting the guys that are really good, so.
Well, thank you for saying that.
Yeah, absolutely.